Hey everybody, this is Lucky Dog, or Rye as some of you know me. I just wanted to give you guys an update on bug out bags. Now we've been through a few videos, and I've had incomplete bags. Well, I have gone through and picked out what I think is the most important things for my survival bag, which, like I said, this could be considered long-term if you want to. Some people call them 72-hour bags. What I have here would get me past 72 hours and get me a camp setup decent enough to where I could actually start, for instance, hunting, fishing, you know, purifying water, all that good stuff. So, I mean, with this right here, I'm pretty much ready to go. Now, I've broken this down tonight, which took me a while to unpack, and I have field tested this, thank God, and it was really nice to use. I've never had a more pleasant camping experience just with this bag. I really didn't need anything else. I'll get through this as quick as I can. I wanted to let you guys know that I tested it. I had everything ready to go, dogs in the car, this in the car, and everything ready to go in under 15 minutes, which, you know, a lot of people try to get themselves down to 5 minutes or whatever, but I mean, this was all packed up. I just had to switch from one vehicle to another, get the dogs ready, make sure I had everything, and since it was already all packed, it was pretty easy. Anyway, let's skip right to the point. This is my bug out bag. It's an Eberl stock Firefly. It's not the cheapest of backpacks. Excuse the side noise. I've got a couple fans going here. It breaks down into 3 sections. What I'll do is it breaks down into several sections, but I'll break this down for you as quickly as I can here and kind of give you an idea. You're going to look at this section here. This is going to contain all my Mylar and freeze-dried food in here. The tackle box fits down here, a couple maps and things in here. I'll get to that in a second. On this side, I keep my tools, and there's a lot of room here. There's 2 openings to get to my tools right here, through the top and to the side. Down below that, there's a hydration pack tucked in here, and I'll explain this as we're going. I have it broken down into sections for you, so hopefully it'll be easy. Over here, I keep my gloves, my rope, more of my supplies. Keep my binoculars in this outside pouch for easy access, as well as my latex gloves in case I come across any game and I have to field dress really quickly. In here, like I said, there's a lot of room for all my food and whatnot. And then on the top here, you'll see this really cool molly setup, and I can throw the bag you're looking at right there on top of it, which turns into a fanny pack, which is really cool. Now that I've broken down that bag, I got one more thing. This is the cool part. I do like this this back support too. You'll see it's got metal frame through it, but you'll see there's room to put a rifle in there. Perfect. Okay, moving on. I keep this in the front of the backpack. It's a thermometer. It's got a magnifying glass. It's a whistle, compass, and also my fire steel and my striker on there. That way I have access to it if I'm wearing my backpack and I need to start a fire. You know, and it's just handy to have it there, so you don't have to dig around the backpack for it. Oh man, I forgot to unpack one of my bags. Well, I'm not going to have time to do that, or am I? I'll give it a shot. It's not going to be pretty looking like everybody else does, but I'll get it unpacked. Alright, so in this one, and keep in mind, I'm going to show you what's going on here so you kind of have an idea. Everything you're seeing on the floor, from that canteen down to these compresses, first aid kit, exclude the knives over here. So everything on screen right now, down, fits in that one little fanny pack, including this bag I just emptied. Okay, in here I keep a mirror. I've got some gauze, looks like an emergency water bag, some more gauze, cleaning wipes, toothbrush, speed stick, another emergency water bag, anti-itch cream, Imodium. I love to have chapstick. My lips get dry out in the air out here in the mountains. Scope, it's kind of cool. These are all travel size, so they're not going to last forever. I said razor, ibuprofen. This is packed. I think I put 2 bottles worth in here. Antibiotic ointment. 4 of these reusable camp spoons. They came in really handy. Some camp soap. Some insect repellent. Comb, it's useful. Shaving cream, which I doubt I'll use, you know, but it's there. Crest Complete. All fits in this one little cool bag here. Alright, fanny pack itself has room for another hydration pack. You can see there's a carabiner attached to it to put my canteen on. Alright, this is what goes into the main bag. I've got my compresses, my ammonia inhalant, some AAA batteries for flashlight. There's a compass, a couple more things of basically ibuprofen, water purification tablets, more toilet paper in here, 3 rolls, camp soap, hair and body wash, super glue for sealing cuts really quickly, latex gloves, emergency blanket, ponchos, got a safety vest right there, got a sewing kit with needles, I've got an SOS sheet, which I can throw out if I need somebody to see me, I keep all my instruction manuals that I need, just in case I need a refresher course. I've got sting relief stuff here. I've got cotton swabs here. I guess they call those forceps. Tweezers are over here. More cotton swabs. Okay. A ton of alcohol pads and cleaning wipes. Okay. Waterproof matches and a striker. Basic fishing kit. Aluminum foil, a couple sheets of them. Survival kit for building shelters, things like that. Bear grills, pretty cool stuff. Signaling mirror, gauze, rope. Not good for holding weight, but still good. And I'm trying to get through all this really quickly so I can talk with you a little bit more. I've got another basic sewing kit. I've got a tiny little pair of, what do you call this? I'm thinking Swiss Army, but it's a multi-use tool, is what it is. Another emergency blanket here. Got this crazy whistle. That probably just really hurts your ears. I don't know how the sound recording is, but it's pretty loud. Got a little cotton swab here, snare wire, some wax thread, which you can also use for snares, for traps. And I'm sorry I'm going so fast. If you guys are following my videos, I've already showed you what most of this is for. If you're confused about some of it, refer to some of my older videos. I've got this camp saw, a hand saw basically. It works pretty well too. Nail trimmers, don't forget those. If you're gone for a while, I mean, the worst thing you can deal with is those long nails, especially when you're working with stuff in the wild. It becomes a pain. I got a bunch of safety pins here. This little guy, it just came with the kit, so I kept it. It's a little flashlight. Probably not going to see much use, but you never know. A little waterproof bag, which all of that now fits into that little bag. So we've gone over the Suzuki bag. Yeah, all that stuff fits in the Suzuki bag. Oh, did I go over the lighters? I don't think I did. I think I skipped that. I've got my sponges. I've got pens and a marker. I've got 3 lighters, and I've got your little adhesive tape roll here for keeping gauze and stuff on. So there's that. That is the fanny pack section, which all splits up into its own little section, and that way, if in the event that I am doing some scouting, I can take all this, and if I were to get in a really bad situation, technically those ponchos can turn into a shelter. I can make them into a shelter. I've got my SOS pad sewing kits. I can pretty much modify some stuff for shelter here. Now, there's no tools here, if you'll notice, but I do keep this on me at all times, which is nice. You can tie through those holes, make a spear. You can hit a rock on the back of that, basically turn that into a chopping axe. Obviously, it's got a serrated edge, it's got a sharp edge, it's got a little beveled out edge there, which I can use for striking my steel, which the sheath has a steel on it, and then the back side's a hammer. So I do always keep a basic tool with me. I keep a smaller folding knife and an extra fire steel on me as well at all times in a waterproof container. So, I mean, I'm pretty set there. But now we're going to move on to the internal section, the big internal section of the bag, which was the fishnet-looking part of it. This is what I store in there, and I need to refill on the ramen there. Normally 6 packs of ramen. Okay. I've got a Basic Essentials Edible Wild Plants and Useful Herbs book, which is pretty cool. Tells you what you can and can't eat, what to avoid. Dandelions, people from Colorado shouldn't have any problem finding those. That's listed in there. Pretty good nutritional value on them. I mean, you're still going to need your meats and everything, but that'll keep you going for a minute. This one's really cool. I love this. It's a detailed topographic map of pretty much everything in Colorado. Includes back roads, recreation sites, and GPS grids. Also includes family locations, boat ramps, campgrounds, places to explore, fishing, hunting, etc. Love it. This is perfect in a bug-out situation. You can use this map to route locations, how to get there, and I have used this. So I like that a lot. I just wish it came in a waterproof printing, but you know, I only paid like 20 bucks for it. So, all right, I keep 1, 2, 3, 4 of those Mountain House freeze-dried foods. Full tackle box with baits, fly fishing, lures, you name it. It's in there. Bobbers. It's all in there. I added this. Thought this was kind of nifty. Got my salt, paprika, curry, cayenne, garlic, black pepper. This. I can stick this into my meat. I know what temperature I can cook it to. I've been researching that. So for each animal that I would take down, I'd want to know the internal temperature. That's kind of cool to have. You know, it takes the guesswork out of it. I've got my little skewers, which I can put food on and cook it over the fire. I've got my boiling pot, which has seen some use. And, oh man, some pine tea was good in there. We made some ramen in there. You know, got some fresh drinking water out of that, so that was a good deal. I keep my fishing rod disassembled, which is what that is. My flashlight, band-aids, some already petroleum jelly cotton swabs that's ready for lighting fire. By the way, this stuff's a godsend. If it's a cold night and you don't want to have to sit there with a striker or match forever trying to start fire, pour that on some wood, rub it in, and just barely get a spark on it, and it ignites like crazy. My camp saw, fillet knife, This just looks like a fun little toy, but actually I can use that in the event of, well, for defense or for basically the same thing the fillet knife will do. It'll cut open a carcass. I've got my little Korean multifunction tool, the shovel, saw, knife end, and then, of course, an axe, some pellets, which I'll get into in a minute. Got a little, what is it, 500 count? I think I loaded 1,000 in there, and then matches with extra strikers and cotton swabs with petroleum jelly in there. Okay, so that covers the tool section of the bag, which I discussed earlier. So we've now broken down 2 parts of that big bag. Here's the third part, actually, 4th part and 3rd part. The water bag goes in its own separate piece, and that needs to be refilled tonight. I've got my paracord. This is now all in a different section of the bag. My paracord, my bandanas, which I can use for either cover or I can use for water purification. I've got a little fishnet bag over there, which actually will hold that duffel bag, which we'll talk about in a minute. Folds up in that tiny little bag there. I've got a beanie, you know, in case it gets cold. More toilet paper, and you know, from experience I've found in the wild, sometimes that is more valuable than than water or fire, you know. It's, okay, water and fire is way more important, but it's a convenience that you definitely don't want to live without if you don't have to. Got latex gloves next to that, again, for if I have to field dress an animal really quick. I've got my binoculars. I've got cotton gloves, which stay wet. You're not going to want to use those if you're trying to keep your hands warm in the snow. I've got a couple belts here. There's 2 wrapped up. Those will hold your weight pretty well, and I can use paracord in combination to get down to something if I need to. Or I can modify those belts for several different things, including tourniquets, so that's good. That's a great thing to have. The leather gloves, they've seen some use, as you can tell, with messing with firewood in my boiling pot. That's one obvious reason to have leather gloves right there. When I was boiling my water, that pot does get pretty hot on a fire, and it's nice to have something to pick it up with. I've got zip ties, which I can modify for several different things as well. Electric tape, and a couple things of duct tape. And then I've got, of course, these gloves, which fold. So my fingers or mittens, either one. There's an air gun, 1,000 foot per second air rifle. Good for taking down small game. You could theoretically take down a pheasant, rabbit. Hell, if you were really good of a marksman, you could probably even take down a turkey. Although I don't see too many turkeys walking down the road. Not good for deer. You're not going to take down any big game. But I mean, if you were comfortable living off rabbit and squirrel and pheasant and little things like that, then that's the hunting tool for you. There's my disassembled fishing rod. I added this to my kit. Actually, I added both of these to my kit. This is a K-bar. Really, really nice K-bar. I like it a lot. It's got a serrated edge. It's got that pointed edge. I can't remember what they call that, a tonto, I believe. So basically, it's got 2 points you can use, which I really like it. It's got good weight to it. Comes in a nice sheath, which you can hook up to your molly as well if you want to. I got a parang, Bear Grylls. Here's a sheath for it. There's a parang. You can see it's pretty hefty as compared to the cheap little crappy, what was it, $5 machete I got from Walmart, which I actually have. I have some of my old junk that I've been replacing. If anybody wants to see my old junk, by the way, feel free. This is the old machete. Notice the blade is really malleable, and I don't want that. I want something with a little bit more oomph to it, and that definitely does that. Here's my old sleeping bag, my old thermometer, and my old machete. So you can see I upgrade as I can too. Here's my fishing net, which straps to the outside of the duffel bag. Now let's get into what goes in this duffel bag. Over here, I've got a sleeping bag, rated from 0 to 20 degrees, so that's going to keep you warm at night, warmer than a conventional cheap sleeping bag. This one wasn't actually that expensive, but I'm working towards a negative 20 sleeping bag, but hey, you know, 0 to 20, that's a good start, so at least it'll keep me warmer. I also need to upgrade my tent. Found out with 2 dogs and me, condensation from just breathing at night, especially when you get in the below freezing temperatures, man, it's a nightmare. But I'll go through that as I get upgrades. I got my sandals here. I think that's important to include. You know, you might consider it a luxury. I consider it, hey, you know, there's some hot days, and I don't always want to be wearing these big old boots, you know. Sometimes it's nice to have a pair of lightweight shoes, plus these just strap down. They're comfortable, and, you know, I use them when I go fishing. Got a pair of jeans that I ripped up, converted to shorts. You know, nothing fancy. T-shirt there, again, white. I'm trying to keep cool. I'm not going to get black or blue. I'm going to get something white. So just an old T-shirt that I found. Another carabiner, which straps that down. Where were we? This is the strap, so you can carry it on your shoulder, the duffel bag, which I keep in the duffel bag. There's a tarp there. I think it's like a 5x7. The sleeping bag, one-person sleeping bag. U.S. Army, $32, something or other bag. Or excuse me, tent. God, what am I saying? I just totally messed that up. That's a tent. That's not a sleeping bag. That's a sleeping bag. That's a tent. One-person tent. And it has a very flimsy tarp bottom on it, and it's really, really thin. It does not, I mean, it held in heat a little bit, but I woke up to my dog shivering, so that was disappointing. So I need to find a better way to insulate the tent, or get a better tent, period. I've got a couple rags there I can use for, you know, a number of things. I can use them to wash off. They're not the cleanest looking rags, but trust me, they're clean. They've been washed. They just got stains on them from whatever else I used them for, probably changing oil or something, but whatever. It's not a big deal to me. Okay, we'll get into the rest of this really quick. Got a pair of drawers over there, a couple pairs of those, you know, you want to have those. Thermals, long sleeve. I've got a pair of cargo pants. They're going to dry quicker than those jeans over there, so I got a pair of those. I got a vest. It's like a biker looking vest, which, again, it's just lightweight. It's meant for warmer conditions. I'm not going to wear it when it's really cold, unless I'm layering, then maybe. Socks over there. That wool, ugly, nasty shirt was a lifesaver. It's like a long sleeve sweater with a wool, and when it got cold, I threw that on over my other shirt and it started warming me up, so that was good to have. I've also got my camo there in case I'm trying to not be seen. You'll see it's the standard Army digital camo, and then I've got a little gas mask there, which I'm thinking more smoke inhalation and stuff like that. It's obviously not, well, I think that's actually rated for radiation particulates and whatnot, but I don't know. The gas mask there is mostly for, you know, from around smoke or something like that, and I want to get out of there. Anyway, I've gone through all that. Now, you can see that is all laid out, quite a bit of stuff. It all fits into one bag and goes in my backpack. Now, what I really like about it, that piece right there, that duffel bag, or that fanny pack right there, and that duffel bag contains everything I need, and I can break it into 3 sections. I like to look at it this way. My duffel bag is my clothing and shelter, which, as you can see, I broke it down that way. And all these pieces here go on the outside of the bag somewhere. The rifle obviously goes in the rifle pouch. The fishing rod goes on the side. The knives go on the sides as well. So, anyway, those are exterior pieces, but I've got my shelter and my clothing there. This section I like to call my hunting. You know, I've got all my tools for hunting there. My tackle box. Well, I should say hunting / and or foraging. You know, I've got gloves and all that there too. So I guess there's multiple uses for the center section, but the center section is the core of my backpack. This is what I'd carry if I'm going hunting. It's got all my tools for cutting up an animal, getting it ready for cooking. Matter of fact, I've got the stuff to cook it there too. So there you go. Got my fire starter, and all that. Over here, I like to call this medical and hygiene for obvious reasons. Medical and hygiene. That's what's primarily in that section. So when you combine all that, we've got, again, medical and hygiene. We've got tools for hunting. We've got gloves, rope, things like that. I don't know what you'd call that. I guess extra tools and clothing. The water bag, the survival kit, the map, the food, tackle box, food and shelter. Excuse me, clothing and shelter. More hunting tools. So, I mean, it breaks down. I don't know how I'd list this in the 10 C's of survival. I'm, to be honest with you, kind of worn out. So I won't get into that. But you can look on the 10 C's of survival and see if it's all here for yourself. And if there's, this is my setup, and it's custom to me. Oh, did I mention that canteen there? I think I did. I don't know, but anyway, there's 2 water sources, not just one. And I should probably add a 3rd in that fanny pack thing. Anyway, you can look for yourself. Like I said, I built this to me and what I need, and what I know I can do. I haven't put anything in here that I wouldn't be able to use or wouldn't feel comfortable using. I have no problem with gutting and skinning and prepping an animal, so I'd be comfortable with that setup. Now, you might not. You might prefer foraging, in which case your tools are going to be different. You are going to need to find a source of protein, though, and if it's not meat, your only other route really is insects. And to be honest with you, I'd much rather tear the internal organs out of something than chew on crickets or not my thing. I suppose if it came to it, I would do it, but if I can catch me a rabbit, I'd rather do that. Anyway, this is my bug out setup, complete, field tested. I've really liked it. Took it camping, and everything you see here got me through a below freezing night in the Rocky Mountains, and it was a lot of fun. Now, unfortunately, I have a cold I got. It's a cold or some kind of sinus infection because of it. But you know what? It was still worth it, and I'm not complaining. It's the price you pay for training, which I'm going to probably take this out as soon as I'm feeling good and do it again. Find a different location in the mountains and scout for water and set up camp uphill from that area. Oh, since I have 4 minutes left, I'm going to go ahead and advise, if you're going to do this, if you have a bag that breaks down into sections, that's awesome. What I would do is strongly recommend you keep a bag like that over there. Maybe put an ammo and whatever you prefer in that bag. Now, I have not done that. My needs, I feel I'm able to take care of myself, and I really don't discuss my self-defense strategies on these videos. I more or less just give you the facts about bug-out bags. So I'm not going to get into what I use. I don't like to get into that. Everybody has their own preference. But I'd strongly recommend keeping a self-defense tool in that clothing and shelter bag, and keeping that bag with you. This bag over here, you might take your medical bag too. It mollies onto that one, so I usually just keep them together. But this bag, you're going to want to put up in a tree at least 50 feet from your campsite. And you might think, well, what if somebody comes by and take... Well, where I camp, there's not going to be anybody else. Matter of fact, I camped up in the mountain on a... what was it? It said, warning, travel not advised, treacherous road conditions ahead. I took a two-wheel drive out there and said, you know what? I'm going to go as far out into nowhere as I can get. And it was an interesting drive, but it was worth it. And I didn't have any problem with anybody. But anyway, this one I'm going to be... at least, like I said, 50 feet, at least 50 feet away from your tent. And I say that because you're carrying food and bait. And there are bears, mountain lions, whatever. I don't know where you're going to be, but where I am, I have predators that would really enjoy tearing this up. And if that's where my tent is, I'd be worried that I'd become dinner, which is, again, why I suggest packing something that's going to defend you. But then again, bears have been known to take multiple shots and still do some damage before they drop. Sometimes people take shots and they don't drop, and the people end up dead. So again, that little extra walk away from your camp is going to be advisable. And lastly, I'm going to mention a shelter. I found my tent was really cold even though I was next to the campfire. I do still like the lean-to shelter idea using pine. You set that up and you make a rectangular shaped fire along your lean-to. That'll heat your shelter up all night. So if you have the time to do that, because I froze my ass off last time. With blankets and sleeping bags and the whole deal with 2 dogs. So I seriously strongly recommend prepping your campsite is your #1 priority. Hunting, getting water, those are secondary. If you don't have a good shelter and you don't have warmth, at least in the winter months especially, you're going to be in some trouble. So this is the advice from Lucky Dog, also known as Rye, here to help you build a perfect bug-out setup for you. I hope this has been useful, and I look forward to making another video for you guys in the future. I hope this was useful. Feel free to leave comments on any tips you'd add to this, or any suggestions you might have. And if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Alright, y'all have a great evening or day or whatever time it is there, and I will chat with you soon.